Hey guys, Future Federal Agent here. Figured I'd go ahead and I'd show off my new toy. This is my DPMS Oracle AR-15 M4 platform. It is chambered in 5.56, so I can shoot both 5.56 and 2.23, which I love. I could have gotten a Smith & Wesson M&P Sporter or something like that a local gun shop was selling. They had it for like $6.50, but it was 2.23 only, and that was just a big deal breaker for me. I like the option of shooting both. I've been wanting this thing for a long time, and personally I didn't think I'd be getting it until sometime after Christmas. Figured, maybe hopefully I'll get some money for Christmas. I don't really want anything else. I'll just ask my relatives for money. Maybe I can go ahead and get that AR for myself. But DPMS was having an event at a local gun store. It's called Fin Feather Fur. It's known around here in Ohio because we don't have a Cabela's or anything around here, so it's kind of like a mini Cabela's. It's a really good store. So they were having an event there where DPMS came out with a big trailer, a big truck, and you can go inside there and you could go ahead and hold whatever gun you wanted, basically, in their whole lineup. From the DPMS Oracle, which is their real budget AR, to their AR-10 sniper rifles that were like $2,800 a piece, and they were just there, no locks or anything. The firing pins were out. You could just pick them up and play with them. So it was really cool. I went in there, I took a look. And I've been wanting this rifle for a while. I've held it a couple times at the store, but I kept messing with this one because this is the one that I wanted. This is what I could afford. And I didn't have the money for it then. And I just took a look around and I went home. And then my dad called me. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, nothing. I'm just watching TV." He's like, "Well, why'd you want me to wake you up early? Didn't you say you had to go do something?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." I told him about the event, and he's like, "Oh, what were you looking at?" And I was like, "Oh, I was looking at an AR-15 and this and that." And he's like, "Oh, how much is it?" And I'm like, "Well, normally they're $700, but they have them on sale right now for $569." He's like, "Oh, that's cool." He's like, "You should get it." I'm like, "I don't have enough money, Dad." He's like, "You know what? If you really want, I'll just go ahead and I'll cut you a check." He's like, "You do a lot of work for me." He's like, "I know I pay for your school, but," he's like, you try hard, so I'll go ahead and I'll write you a check." And I was like, "Oh, thanks, Dad." So my dad was really nice and he gave me some money. And I went out and I got this. I love it. It's long overdue. I mean, as soon as I got my AK, I love my AK, but I was just like, oh man, this AK is nice. Now I want an AR. I mean, I guess that's just how I am. I just keep moving on. Check, next. That's basically how I am. I got this now. I'm like, you know what I could really use? An M1 Garand. I mean, I guess it's just in my nature. But first, what I really want to do is I want to go ahead and I want to customize this. That was another big thing for me. I like the flat top receiver. I like flip up sights. I prefer those over your carry handle iron sights. So that was a big bonus right there. It sucks because obviously I don't have any sights. All I have is a railed gas block and a railed receiver here. The one thing that I do have a problem with right off the bat, this gun is great. I really do like it. It is a very good quality. A lot of guys knock it down. I know some guys even say, "Oh, it's a really loose fit," but I gotta be honest with you guys. There's no need for an AccuWedge or anything. There's not even play between the lower and the upper receiver. It's awesome. Real quick, just so I can mention all the safety sallies and all the homos out there. That's not even a real mag. That's actually a mag from a paintball gun. It's plastic. I just put it in here because it fits, and it makes the gun look really good, but it's not an actual magazine. It doesn't have a way of holding any rounds, so the gun is clear. So that way people don't think I'm handling a loaded gun. But yeah, the one thing I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to knock DPMS down for is the rail top and the Picatinny rail and the gas block are not aligned. This one is probably about 1/4 of an inch higher than this one. And that really sucks if you want to mount flip-up sights on it. I know there are some flip-up sights that the front sight is always a little bit taller than the back sight for that kind of a reason, I guess. But the sights that I want, the Magpul M-Bus sights, if I put the back sight here and the front sight here, it's not going to be aligned, which is kind of a pain in the butt. But I was looking into it. I think I may have a solution. People say to stay away from the M-Bus sights if you have this gun because this gas block will become very hot during a lot of rapid fire. And since they're polymer, they can they can start to melt. But what I'm looking into doing is I might buy a short little riser mount here, which I think might absorb some of the heat, and then mount the M-Bus onto that. Worst case scenario, I'm planning on taking off this handguard right here and putting in a drop-in quad rail. So that'll solve that problem anyway. Worst case scenario, I'll just pop the sight off of here, pop it on the top of the quad rail, I'll be all set to go. But yeah, that's another reason I really wanted this gun, is because even if, I'm looking at a Rock River Arms that I want or something like that, I mean, even, some of the ones I'm like, wow, that's perfect, except for the handguard, except for the stock, except for this. There's always that one or two little things that need to change anyway. So it's not like I bought it, for $1,465 and it's exactly how I want it. Especially because I really want a two-tone AR. I want something that's going to be a coyote tan or flat dark earth and black. Kind of have a two-tone effect. I think it looks really awesome. I know that Such has an AR-15 that's two-tone. He has half of it black, half of it is coyote tan Tapco accessories. That looks really cool. So I want to do something kind of like that. I'm not going to copy Such by any means. Mine's totally different, but that's what I've been wanting for a long time. And I think it's a lot more fun. So now that I have the gun, I can go ahead and slowly, save my money for a while, buy a stock. Save money for a while, buy a pistol grip. Save my money for a while, buy some new magazines. That kind of thing. So I just want to go ahead and I want to talk about my plans for this gun now. First things first, I'm just going to go basically in the order of what I want to do first, and then I'll just kind of say everything else. First things first, I'm probably going to have to go ahead and buy the drop-in carbine handguards, quad rail, all the way around. I was looking at a brand, it's called Firefield. I've heard good things about them. They're very small. They're kind of known for, they're lower quality. They're kind of like NC Star or Leapers, but I've heard that they're pretty good. I've held their handguards in the store a few times. They seem pretty solid. So I'm going to go ahead and probably get those. It's $50, not very expensive. So, yeah. What I really would love to do, but just because of price, I'm not going to. I may do it sometime in the future after this build is complete. I'll have some cash. I might do this. What I'd really like to do is get a free float handguard on here, a rifle length. So it'll go all the way down to the end of the barrel here almost. But the problem with that is I would have to go ahead and I have to mess with the delta ring and whatnot, install the barrel nut that'll come with the free float. And the other thing I'd have to do is I'd have to get rid of this gas block and buy a low-profile gas block. So that's like $250 right there. $250. So that would just be a real, time-consuming process. I'd rather just go ahead and spend the $50 right now, be decently happy, and then I might come back to it later. Next thing, I would like to go ahead and just get the Magpul M-Bus flip-up sights. I'll probably get those in on Flat Dark Earth, Magpul Flat Dark Earth. Sorry, my camera's having some problems focusing. After that, I really want to get the Magpul ACS stock, because this stock on here, although it works, it is a piece of garbage. I really do not like this stock. Real cheap says, here, let me hold it under the lights, you can see it, DPMS, real cheesy looking. I think it's called the Pardus stock, P-A-R-D-U-S, is what they call it in their catalog. And it's really cheap. I mean, it gets the job done, but it looks fruity, in my opinion. But yeah, another reason I wanted to get this gun is I found some cheaper ARs, like a Bushmaster or whatnot, but they have the rifle stock on it, so even if I was going to go ahead and get one of those, this one already has the buffer tube installed. I'd have to play around with the buffer tube and whatnot, so it just saves me a lot of time getting this gun. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get a Magpul ACS stock for this. I was originally thinking about getting the CTR stock and then getting a cheek pad for it, but I'd really like to get the ACS. It's an awesome stock, lots of storage space. Get that in Flat Dark Earth as well. It's a little pricey. Cheaper Than Dirt has it for $109, but Cheaper Than Dirt also has pretty high shipping costs. So that's going to be more like $120. A couple local gun stores I've seen have it for $130. I'm hoping I can find one that maybe has it for about $125, so I can still save a little bit off of the retail price, but I don't have to go out and order it. I can just go to the store, pick it up, and install it that day. I would like to get the Magpul Miad. Magpul Miad pistol grip. Sorry, I was thinking of the word. It's kind of late. I'm tired. I want to go to bed, but I wanted to get a video out first. I want to go ahead and get the Magpul Miad pistol grip. That would be in Flat Dark Earth as well. It has different straps you can put up in the front and the back, so I can go ahead and kind of conform it to how I like it. I'd like to go ahead and get the Magpul sling mount back here, the Magpul sling mount cover. That'd be pretty sweet to get. And then obviously I want to go ahead and get some better magazines. Here are the magazines that I got with the gun. They're just your standard GI mags. Nothing special about them. I got 2 of these. This one is actually loaded, all the way loaded. And I wanted to see what the weight was like on this weapon with a fully loaded magazine. Other than that, I mean, that's pretty much it. It would cost a bit, but yeah. I was also thinking what I might do, just to be kind of cool, I might go ahead and either get Duracoat or Lumihide and take my muzzle brake off and pop my dust cover off and make and Lumihide those or Duracoat those in a coyote tan to kind of give it a little bit more of a contrast. And then I'm looking at some combat scopes too. Obviously, like I said, I can't afford to buy like a Trijicon ACOG or an EOTech like I'd like to, so I'm trying to find something a little cheaper. I found a few that I'm interested in, but I'm just reading reviews. Some people hate it, some people love it, and I'm not sure what to think. I'd really like to get a Vortex red dot sight. Those are about $150 everywhere you look. I don't know about spending that much. I may get it. I'm not sure yet, but I'm not going to lie. I prefer a reticle, crosshairs, an illuminated crosshair red dot, as opposed to just a single red dot. So that's what the Vortex is. It's a single red dot, where I found others like the Bushnell Trophy, 1x32mm sight. That's from what I hear, that's a great sight. That's a T-dot. So that's pretty cool. But the only reason that I'm holding back on it is that it's a whole pound. The sight weighs a whole pound, so I'm not sure if I want that yet or not. I was looking at another sight made by Firefield that I've heard is pretty good. And then yesterday I wasn't sure if I want to go ahead and get just a red dot sight, or maybe I want something with a little magnification. So I'm not sure about the sight yet. But other than that, I mean, that's pretty much it. I'm really excited about this gun. And every time I get something for it, I'm going to kind of do what Pete did with his and just put a new video out. I hope Pete doesn't think I'm stealing his thunder, because he's kind of like my role model. And actually, here, let me show you. I'm actually wearing my favorite shirt right now, but I love this gun. It was the most cost-effective for me as a college student, so that's what I want to go ahead and do. Hopefully it'll get my channel kind of going also. So yeah, thanks guys. I hope you subscribe and tell your friends about me. Have a nice night.